Hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today I want to take a quick look at the Argonak, which is the newest grenade rifle that was recently released with the Plains of Eidolon update. Now, Argonak is probably the weapon I've used the most since the Plains of Eidolon update release, and that's because of its unique mechanic where it will highlight enemies if you're aiming down sights. This is a very handy thing to have in the Plains because the Tusk Grenier are fairly well camouflaged and can be somewhat hard to see, especially during the night, and it also helps while hunting animals because it will highlight them as well. If you want to get your hands on this puppy, you can get the blueprint from the Grenier lab in your dojo. The blueprint will cost you 15,000 credits, and then to build the weapon, you will have to put an additional 30,000 credits, 5 detonite injectors, 700 plastids, 9,950 alloy plates, and 1 forma. The Argonak is a very accurate rifle that requires you to be at least Mastery rank 7 to use it. It does 57 damage with the shot, 24.5 is impact, 6.3 is puncture, and 26.2 is slash. It has 43 rounds in the magazine and reload time of 2.4 seconds. Now, the Argonak is kind of like Stradivar 2.0, in that it has two different fire modes that you can switch on the fly. The first one, the primary one, is a semi-automatic mode that has fire rate of 4.33, 27% crit chance, 2.3 times crit multiplier, and 19% status chance. But when you switch to the secondary mode, the weapon will be fully automatic, the fire rate will go up to 6, the crit chance will go down to 9%, the crit multiplier will go down to 150%, and the status chance will go up to 27%. And I really like this because you can either build the weapon for crit and focus on the primary mode, you can build it for status and focus on the secondary mode, or you can go for a hybrid build and use both. Now, you can still use both even if you build for either crit or status, but one of them is just going to be much stronger. It also has the very nice quality of life, for the lack of a better word, thing where if you're running low on ammo, the firing sound will change. You will hear a subtle click that gets louder and more pronounced as you get closer to emptying out your magazine. And I really like this because it basically allows you to focus all your attention around your crosshair and you don't have to look at your ammo whatsoever. It just saves you from running into like a bombard and him going, "What you gonna do, mate? Shoot me?" Not with that empty magazine, you're not, and then he just blows you to bits while you're reloading. Now, the build I decided to go for is a 3 forma build where I've added 2 Vs and 1 dash, and I decided to focus on the primary semi-automatic mode because I prefer it to the full auto mode. And it's a pretty standard crit build for rifles. It's running Serration for damage, Split Chamber for multi-shot, Point Strike for crit chance, Vital Sense for crit damage, Arcane Scope for even more crit chance, Stormbringer with Infected Clip for corrosive damage, and Hellfire for heat damage. Though you can very easily swap the elements around, so you can go for Stormbringer and Hellfire for radiation damage, and Cryo Rounds for cold damage, which is going to be much stronger versus the higher tier Grenier like Bombards. Now, if you're looking for a weapon that's gonna face roll sorties for you, this is definitely not it. This is by far not the strongest weapon in the game. It's sort of above average. It starts to struggle around level 60 if you're fighting heavily armored units, and around level 80 if you're fighting unarmored units. So unless you have like a really good Riven, I wouldn't really recommend taking it into a sortie assassination. Does that mean it's a bad weapon? No, definitely not. It will still take you through the entire star chart, and you can even do all the bounties in Cetus. It's definitely better than the Stradivar, it just has better stats, so if you enjoy the Stradivar, this is definitely a weapon for you, but I would pick it up anyway because it's just so damn useful in the Plains, especially if you're doing stuff at night or if you're hunting animals for resources. I'm also a big fan of the sound design on this one. It sounds really powerful, I like it. It makes this loud crackling boom that echoes around every time you pull the trigger. It is fantastic. The magazine will also spin a little bit every time you fire the weapon, which is a nice little detail that you unfortunately can't see very well in this footage because my Rhino is just too damn fat. And it's also kind of buggy in Captura because instead of moving a little bit every time you pull the trigger, it just starts spinning incredibly fast. So yeah, this is not really a must-have weapon, but it is definitely handy to have, especially if you're doing a lot of stuff in the Plains. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.